Hi, I'm Madeleine Bullen.
And I'm Hannah Alford.
And I'm Joseph Stam.
I'm Cruella.
And welcome to Cine-pop Reacts. Today we are talking about the new Disney movie Cruella. So thoughts on when you're going into Cruella? What did you know about it going in? Were you excited to see it? Were you apprehensive?
I had never seen 101 Dalmatians or anything, so I didn't really know anything about it. All I know is that Cruella, kills puppies and wears them, is all I knew about it. And there's something with fashion, but that's all I knew about it. So I was going in there pretty blind, just kind of seeing this as the only character. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch it.
I remember that I've seen 101 Dalmatians. I remember I was a very small child and was kind of traumatized by it and really hated the movie. Yep. So then I wasn't super excited about seeing Cruella, and then I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, that could actually be pretty good. So that was kind of where I wasn't really sure what to think coming in.
So I am older than both of them. So I grew up with 101 Dalmatians and watched it as a child. And so I was not excited because I grew up with Cruella de Vil as the ultimate evil villain. She is a puppy killer. She and the hunter who kills Bambi's mom are the two worst villains in all of Disney because they didn't have reasons. They just killed animals. And as a child, that made me very sad. So I was not excited about this because I liked disliking Cruella. I loved the song Cruella de Vil about how evil she was and how scary she was, and I just wanted Disney to leave her alone. I wanted her to be the bad guy, and I wasn't cool with it.
You're saying this would be the equivalent of making the killer hunter Bambi.
Exactly! Making it movie. And that's the thing. This will be my biggest gripe throughout the whole thing. She actually does want to kill puppies in the original, so that I don't know how I can feel for her, because you spend the whole movie being afraid that she's going to murder the puppies that you love, which is terrible.
Yeah. See, I didn't have that because I didn't watch it, so I just got to go in and be like, oh, this is who this is. I didn't have any, pre-existing thoughts about her.
I just remember her traumatizing me as a child, and then I was like, okay, she's still pretty evil in this, so I was okay with it. Yeah.
Did she traumatize you this time?
No,
I was a little traumatized. So let's go ahead and just dig into it. This was pushed back, I think, from last year as well. It's one of all the movies that are releasing this year. And starring Emma Stone and Emma Thompson, which I didn't realize till the latest round of previews Emma Thompson was even going to be in it. So I was really excited because I adore her. But yeah, so it follows Cruella from when she's a child all the way till she becomes the puppy murderer we all know and love. This is my biggest issue.
It's like her revenge story.
I don't want to like her.
Oh, you don't?
Right, but then who do I like in this movie?
But
then why did I watch
It's an anti-hero story.
You say hero like we wanted her to succeed.
No, but anti-hero.
Well, I think they did really well.
Okay.
Is they made a villain worse than Cruella. So you made Cruella evil and equally evil, I think, to her puppy killing self later on. Mm-hmm. And then we made someone worse. Which I think that's impressive.
That takes a lot.
And Emma Thompson was fantastic.
She was so good.
And Emma Stone was really great. She always does great.
Yeah, and she's fascinating because you could just watch her face and be so sucked into what she's thinking and feeling. And same with Emma Thompson. It's just the slightest, most nuanced little things that just get you so engrossed with her character. So I honestly think acting-wise, this was just a phenomenal movie. I really liked all the supporting cast was really fun. Yeah. I particularly liked Joel Fry, who played Jasper. I thought his character didn't always make the most sense, but I don't blame him. I blame scriptwriters and editors.
I kind of liked it because he was never really okay with what was going on, and even in the end, that scene that they have, he wasn't totally on board. And so I thought that was interesting. But then yet, he always helped her. The way he was doing, so.
And I'm glad they made them childhood together, because that kind of to me, I was like, I don't think if you had been taking care of this person and had been watching each other's backs since you were 12, I got him staying with her more than if they met a few weeks ago.
Definitely.
I did also. I really thought he was going to be the love interest for 5 minutes in the beginning. I was like, no, that very first scene when they were sitting at the coffee table, I was like, no, please don't be the love interest.
We don't need a love interest.
No, I was glad it wasn't, honestly.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think that was a good call. But no, I liked the story, honestly. It was I just really liked it. And I liked the music.
It was all like
music
I was
was
like
awesome.
singing along to
punky,
all of them. Yeah.
like music from. I mean, I think they had some music from this, like pretty much '60s on
Just had
really punky
every
music,
song,
which was so
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And her style, like we just talk about the production's design of it, was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And honestly, even though I didn't love the whole story, the production design, the fashion element, there were some really distinctive styles between like the Baroness and Cruella's style were so distinctive, and there were like era distinctive of like Cruella really captured like the punk feel of the 60s and 70s, like that really alt scene that was specifically happening in London, which I thought was brilliant.
Yeah.
And there, especially her fashion show, I was like, that pretty much could have been a fashion show in the 60s or 70s. Like, and whereas the Baroness had this very like classic regal line. Anyway, I thought they did a fantastic job with the look. Visually,
really
it
cool.
was just a cool movie.
It was
to
really
Yeah, it
interesting.
was.
Yeah.
Except for the dogs. And this is going to be...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They were weirdly CGI.
Well, okay,
It was
so
mainly the Dalmatians. Like, the two dogs that they had with them, like, there were moments where I was like, that was really CGI, but they didn't really bother me.
There was one moment
Yeah.
when young Cruella was running with the puppy, and it was a stuffed animal, and you could tell it was a stuffed animal because Cruella was running and the puppy wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, and I think like the director was talking about how sometimes afterwards he couldn't tell if they were real dogs or if they were CGI. I was like, I think you can though. I mean, that's really nice to say that to your VFX artists and everything, but
And some moments they were really nice, but you could even tell when, especially the Dalmatians were pulling people, they weren't being pulled
Yeah.
by real things, and it was just easy to
It was
see.
a
The
little
moment where the
distracting.
dog, like, jumped down onto the mattress, I laughed at that.
Yeah, no, that was like, oh, that was so good.
overall, I think it was a lot of attention to detail, and I thought there was a lot of thought put into every single little thing. Like you could just read so much of it, and like they were trying to tell you so many things, and I didn't expect that from this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't expect for it
It
to be
was
as thought
more
out. as it
And there was a
complicated
lot of
than
really
I-
hidden, like, Dalmatians in the background of things
Yeah.
I liked.
Yeah.
Well, the whole black and white motif all the way
Yeah.
through, like
Yeah.
both really in your face and really subtly, it was just so
It was
well
so
done.
cool,
So here's, I guess, the biggest question and issue. What is the moral of the story? Why do you
Yeah.
spend $20 and for 2 hours? Why is this one of those movies you should see or take your children to see?
Well,
don't
okay,
take your
that is
children
the
to see
thing.
it.
Okay, that is
not
the
a family
interesting
movie,
thing.
in
So
my opinion.
it's really not, because it's like there's parts of it that it's like, oh, this is aimed towards kids, and then it has other things in it that's like,
Who
well,
was
I'm not
the
showing my
target
kids that
audience?
kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
like,
assume
So
it's
I
adults.
think
Yeah.
I think it's adults who remember those things. It's kind of nostalgic for, oh, it's an old Disney movie kind of thing, kind of thing.
Sure.
But it's a more grown up story. So I think I don't think it was intended for kids. I think the more little kid stuff was supposed to be like, oh, I remember things like that kind of thing, nostalgia.
Yeah, I guess I could see that, but then what is the, like, what were you supposed to
So
get out of it?
the moral of the story is it's fine to be evil. Just be as awful as you want to be, but don't kill people
Or puppies.
or puppies.
Unless you do later
And
on.
you can
then
joke
it's
about it
fine.
all you like, just like haha,
Just
but
don't
don't
actually-
actually do
Murder
it.
is funny as long as you don't actually do it.
No, I don't
thing is,
know.
I don't
I
think
don't
it was
know.
intended to be like this is necessarily one specific moral. I feel like it was meant to be more of a Greek tragedy where you see
Yeah.
this person who starts off not being a bad person necessarily, who starts off like, I mean, Cruella definitely was like
even
a
as
troubled kid.
I think it bothered me that as a child they established that she was bad. Because they felt like
that, though.
But I
it
just
was a
didn't go
fall-
into it with that, you know?
That's true. That's true.
So I understand that from you, but like for me, I didn't go into it like that. So I could just see it as an anti-hero story,
Yeah.
which like a film like Nightcrawler or something. Obviously, you don't like the person, you don't like Jake Gyllenhaal's character, but you know that's not the point of it. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to necessarily like them.
And you knew she wasn't going to end up in a good place
Well,
at
no.
the end. Like,
No.
we all knew that coming in, that she wasn't going to be a good guy by the end of it.
Right.
So I think in some ways there were lots of moments where you were rooting for her to be better,
And then she wasn't.
and then she wasn't.
yeah.
And especially if you're
Just sad.
thinking of it in terms of a kids movie or something, then it's definitely like, oh no, we do not.
But
want
even as
them
like an adult
and
movie,
these things.
what is the like? I feel like so with movies like The Joker, where you know he's gonna end up a crazy person,
Yeah.
horrible villain.
Yeah.
But there was a commentary on society that went along with this, and if this was a commentary on the fashion industry, it was fine, I guess. Fashion's evil. I don't know. I don't know if in my opinion, if you're going to do an anti-hero movie where you don't like any of the people, you need to be making a really strong statement on something external. So like on society, on how you treat people, on how you treat people who are different than you, how, you know, and I felt like this was almost one of those like society tries to put girls in a box and we should be who we want to be.
From it. No, I didn't get that from it at all.
I felt like that was because that was her like, well, mom tried to love me into being a normal person, but I'm crazy.
Well, I felt like it was almost more of like what's really the cost of power is kind of what I got from it more, just based on like their conversation where she was basically like, if you're gonna succeed, you're gonna have to be
ruthless.
Be ruthless, and even just they have lots of conversations on power and what true power is, and even at the beginning, she's just like, if you have to like ask her, like
right, she said
if
that
you have to talk about power, then you clearly don't have it.
Yeah.
And when she was gaining more power, that's when she was becoming Cruella. Like it wasn't
yes,
Estella
I did like
who
that.
was getting the power. It was Cruella.
Mm-hmm.
And even just like the relationship and the toll that it had on her friendships with the other people and like her lack of gratitude towards them.
I think there was a lack of clarity though, because I think there could have been more of the power is the thing instead of just her personality was the thing.
I think that they could have done that a little better in the end.
Yeah.
For some reason, I felt the end kind of fell off in that way.
Yeah.
Is that I feel like it was so close, and I think you're right is what it was trying to do, but for some reason, it just didn't stick it in the end.
Well, because she got the power. She got the Baron, this house. She got everything she wanted. And then you're like, oh, great.
I would have liked it if she ended up alone.
Yeah, well,
I would have liked
the
that
guys forgave her.
Like if the guys had just left her and then she was in
but
the
they
mansion,
can't because they're in 101 Dalmatians.
And I think that's why they ended up staying. But I thought I think that would have been a much more interesting commentary if she started off with these people in this family and then
the cost of power,
and the
cost of
for her.
climbing the ladder in that ruthless way is your friends and your family and the people that you love. Had that been it, I don't think I would have disliked the movie as much. I think I would have appreciated the comment it was making, but I felt like the comment was really muddy.
Yeah.
And you had to like dig through it, and then because we didn't like her, we didn't learn anything through her or with her. It was just a lot of really pretty dresses and evil.
I think it was definitely very much like when she basically killed Stella or whatever her name was. I think that was very much her giving into the power and giving into the it was a Dr. Jekyll
but then I felt like we were
situation.
supposed to be sad that she killed Stella, but then we're supposed to be happy that she's Cruella. I couldn't tell in that moment how I was supposed to feel.
I'm pretty sure you were supposed to be like, oh no, because even when she was like knocking off the sign and it was like Hell's Place or Palace or whatever.
Again, I think the ending of the movie was rough because they had to make it make sense with 101 Dalmatians, and the story they set up didn't make sense with 101 Dalmatians because Hell's Hall is what her house was called. And she did have a big manor, and she did have the two, like, but they were mindless goons in the cartoon.
I didn't mind them
and the fact that she gave the puppies to Anita and Roger, whatever his name is, that bothers me so much, because then she steals their puppies in the next one and tries to skin them and turn them into coats.
I don't know if it was I don't know if their goal was to make, like, this is where we leave off for the Disney movie. I feel like it was more
I don't know how connected they're actually supposed to be.
Of the story.
I think some of the things that were in there, I was like, oh, I am sure that is
a nod
trying
to
to
the movie.
to the movie, but I just don't get it because I haven't seen it.
I loved it when she was driving because she definitely
she had the little
punch,
and the fact that Cruella can't drive is totally at the car, the whole DeVille car. That's all in the movie, and I liked that.
I just liked the storytelling. I liked the camera movement and the cinematography and everything. How it took you through her life.
I got a little dizzy.
I get that, but it was so fast paced, and it was just taking you through her life so fast paced, and you were seeing what she was seeing, and it was.
And I thought it was a really interesting that they say that she died right at the beginning. Like the necklace, I thought that was.
And that's another thing. The narration.
The narration was so
sometimes
funny.
Sometimes narration is just there. It just doesn't impact the story at all. It's like you need to know this, so I'm gonna tell you.
I like
but
it.
it was purely there for just entertainment and
snarky
fun.
commentary on her life, which was amusing.
And even there's one part where like they're in the middle like of a scene, and then she like says something, and then they keep going.
That was
like
I thought that was great.
There was some pretty smart moments with it. It was just smart.
I also think they did a really good job, and both of the Emmas did a good job making their characters still distinct from each other in a movie where it could have very quickly been basically two of the same characters talking to each other.
You saw Cruella trying to impersonate her
Yeah.
in a way.
The way her
And
voice changes in between her, Estella, and
Yeah.
Cruella, like,
Yeah.
those details in Emma Stone's performance were
Yeah.
just...
I thought even though
but it was still
yeah,
different.
Cruella, Stella's character didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I thought Emma Stone did a really good job kind of connecting the lines where the writing didn't help her a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. She made... I don't think a lot of people could have made
No.
that make as much sense and balance the crazy with the humanity,
Yeah.
which I thought she really did try to balance. Same with,
think
I mean,
so,
Emma Thompson did as well.
But she was just more off the deep end already, so you kind of...
Yeah.
Emma Thompson, my one issue with the Baroness is I don't feel like she was evil. She was absolutely evil. But I didn't feel like I feel like the line was really like, I'm fine, I'm evil, I'm fine, I'm evil. I'm a mean boss. I'm the boss from Devil Wears Prada, and then I'm also a murderer. I don't know, the line was very weird. Emma Thompson walked it beautifully. It just from a story perspective, I thought it was strange. I liked a lot of the pieces of it. I just, as a whole, I don't know that it's worth investing time and money into as a story, I guess is kind of where I land. And I'm not a big fan of the turning Disney villains into heroes.
She wasn't, though. That's
But
what
I don't
was
think it was
shocked about.
a hero.
But,
Yeah.
It
but
just
then
depends how
when
you
Disney
look at it.
releases the line of Cruella clothing and there are Cruella dolls, and this is maybe just Disney's media, the way they do it. Had this been a different movie, not a part of the big Disney machine, I think it could have been interesting, but the marketing that I've seen and the way that we're playing her up
I
as
mean,
a
they even did that with
Joker.
Joker, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that
I
though.
did.
And that's not a good thing, but I don't think those things actually impact the movie. You know?
Yeah.
I think they're separate enough for me, at least.
I can
And
see
so I enjoyed it. It's not for kids, definitely.
No.
And so I could see some people like watching the trailer and, thinking it might be. It's not.
Yeah.
Um
I think Maleficent, was a little more for kids. Like, it was still creepy, but I think it was a little more for kids, so I kind of put this in the same box as Maleficent, whereas...
Well, and
yeah,
what-
I enjoyed this a lot more though.
Yeah.
Well, and with Maleficent, I felt like they really were trying to make you like her and her
Yeah.
be like, just
Yeah.
wow, wasn't she so mistreated?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, we should feel sorry for her. And I feel like we didn't go that route. Like,
And
we did
I-
a little bit.
I
but, like,
appreciate that with Cruella.
We
yeah.
definitely made her.
I think
a
it was
villain.
more just
Yeah.
kind of observing her rather than
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
with her.
It was
I
kind of
think.
like, oh, this is just gonna keep getting worse.
Oh, no.
This
It's-
is- like I said, kind of the Greek tragedy of like watching her fall from not necessarily a powerful place, but like as she rises up, losing her humanity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that is an interesting
and I thought
story,
they-
and I think they could have clarified it a little better to make that point
Like I
more
said, I
Especially
think
in the
if we
end.
had been able
In the
to
end,
see
yeah.
more of a cost in the end, I
Yeah.
would have liked that.
I guess that's the thing. She was evil, and then she won, and that was that.
She beat the more evil lady.
Yay!
Because the other lady killed people, and she didn't
She
kill
didn't
people
quite.
or puppies.
Yet she does later, but not yet, so it's cool. I guess I just wish that we had seen that cost more, just so that. I don't know. I like morals of the story.
Yeah.
I think she did lose something. I think with killing
Yeah.
Stella, she lost her humanity.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Yes.
was basically what we were trying to go with
Yeah.
there.
I think
But then
it-
we had the
I think
cool
it could've-
triumphant music where she's like making it held hall and like being like,
Right.
I'm cool and I'm a
And that's what I mean.
badass.
That's what I
Like,
mean. Like that's what I mean. I think that it could have stuck the landing a little bit better.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
I
But-
found the end definitely the least
Yeah.
satisfying part.
but
of the
Yes.
through and through,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it honestly.
I thought we were gonna
Throughout
kill
the
her
story.
off at the beat. Like I thought she was just gonna be
Well,
dead.
when she said she was dead, and then when she like dies,
Died, I
then
was
you
like,
think
okay.
she's dead, and then she's.
I
But
don't know
anyway,
who's
we're getting
selling
into
the story.
spoilers now.
Oh.
But
yeah.
but they haven't seen 101 Dalmatians, so you know
Like,
she's
I don't know if it was
Oh,
supposed
that's
to be a
true.
prequel as
It
much as it was
is.
supposed to be a retelling of the story.
It is supposed
But we
to
had
be.
the dogs, and we
is
kidnapped
it-
the dogs, and they kidnapped the dogs in
Like,
the van.
I-
I think it was supposed to be a retelling, not a
No,
prequel.
no, no, because she gives them Panko and Perdita. Like the,
Yeah, that's like
Well,
a
no,
nod
but
to the
I don't think it's
cartoon. I
either
don't think it's
one.
supposed
I
to
don't think
be
it's
like
either
that.
one. I think it's a separate story. It's
No.
not a prequel. It's not after. It's
it
not a
can't do
remake.
that.
It's
That's
just
not how
different.
Disney works.
It's just
It
nods
just-
to the
they
movies.
just-
It wasn't supposed to be like,
they-
like here's where we leave
Exactly.
off.
They
Like,
just
I
took
don't-
the character and they said, what about we do this? That's that's what they did.
how can
And
we
so-
make money off this Disney villain?
And it's
I
true.
have another side character
because
that we
it could have been that story could have been told with a different character.
Yes, and I
you
honestly
know?
think I would have liked the story if it was a
And
different
so-
character. And that's just me having
But
grown
I mean,
up with
they
the movie.
need, but they need that to make their money. You know, so
For
it makes
people to sit
sense.
down and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess overall, it is a really well put together movie. There
Yeah.
are some CGI moments. There are some story holes, some characters that don't
It's
make
very
sense.
clever. I
It
think a lot of the
is.
humor is I don't necessarily
very
know the word.
understated.
It's very kind of like that
It's
dry
macabre.
British. Like,
It's a little macabre, but it's funny.
Yeah.
I think
great.
a lot of the storytelling is charming.
Yeah.
Which is kind
Yeah.
of interesting and a different. It has a very unique tone, I guess, and it felt very
Yeah.
different from other movies.
Yeah, and I
It's-
appreciate that. Both in the production design, the fashion of it has such a unique tone, and the whole movie, it sticks out.
Yeah.
And it you know they had a vision for it, and I appreciate storytellers who have such a clear vision and in all
It's
elements.
a style that went like it was a thread all the way through. It showed in
And
the acting and the design,
yeah.
and like just the whole
yeah.
movie was very
the sound,
cohesive.
yeah. Someone
Yeah.
with a really clear vision told that story, and I appreciate that, even though I'm still questioning whether it was a story that we needed to tell in the first place. But I think that they did a good job with it, and again, not for kids. Don't take your
Yeah.
children if you want to. I mean, even 101 Dalmatians is a little rough for little kids, so
Yeah.
I would just.
I traumatize
If
you.
you really-
Don't traumatize
So
your
dumb.
own children.
The puppies are really cute.
And then we tried to kill them.
Yeah, these ones are not cute.
No.
They're evil dogs.
Yeah.
That was surprising too. That the Dalmatians were the bad guy was a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So overall, we had fun watching it, and
fun.
we'd love to hear what you guys think. If you liked it, you didn't like it, how you feel about anti-hero stories, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe here on YouTube to keep up with all of our latest videos, and thanks for watching.